So faith, communities, and health. Well, what is the faith factor, and what are some possibilities or some possible explanations of the link between faith and health? The faith factor is defined as religiously active people who tend to live longer than those who are not religiously active. This is correlational, not cause and effect. However, the research does indicate that religious involvement, like non-smoking and exercise, is a predictor of health and longevity. Possible explanations may include the effect of intervening variables such as the healthy behaviors, social support, or positive emotions often found among people who regularly attend religious services. If we look at this diagram, we can see religious involvement on the left, and you can see that there are three major areas that are thought to occur because of religious involvement, and that's healthy behaviors, such as less smoking and drinking, a sense of social support through faith communities and marriage, and positive emotions of hope, optimism, coherence, less stress and anxiety, and this results in better health, such as less immune system suppression and fewer stress hormones and greater longevity. In some cases, one of the benefits of religious involvement or any particular faith or spirituality is a release of control and a release of stress on the person to think that they are the person who has to solve everything on their own. What is the feel-good, do-good phenomenon, and what is the focus of positive psychology research? Positive psychology is one of the newest areas in psychology developed by Martin Seligman, and he looked at psychology and he decided that while we focus a lot on treating disorders and helping individuals return to a normal sense of function, he said, why can't we take psychology and have them exceed a normal sense of functioning? So in positive psychology, people aspire to happiness because our state of happiness or unhappiness influence all facets of our life. Feel good, do good phenomenon, people's tendency to be helpful when they're already in a good mood, and doing good also promotes a good feeling, the do good, feel good phenomenon. Happiness research stems from William James' writings in the early 20th century through to the humanistic psychologists interested in advancing human fulfillment in the 1960s. In the 21st century, positive psychologists under the leadership of Martin Seligman have used scientific methods to study human flourishing. We talk about subjective well-being, our self-perceived happiness or satisfaction with life. This is used along with measures of objective well-being, for example, physical and economic indicators, to evaluate people's quality. Positive psychology is defined as the scientific study of human functioning with the goals of discovering and promoting strengths and virtues that help individuals and communities to thrive. The three pillars of positive psychology include positive well-being, positive character, positive groups, communities, and culture. How do time, wealth, adaptation, and comparison affect our happiness levels? The short life of our emotional ups and downs. Emotional ups and downs tend to balance out. Moods typically rebound. Friday and Saturday are typically the most positive mood days. Early morning to midday are the most positive times of day, and usually even tragedy is not permanently depressing. The surprising reality, the duration of emotions is overestimated. Resiliency and adaptability are underestimated. Wealth and well-being. Wealth does correlate with well-being in some ways, such as having resources to meet basic needs and maintain some control over life does buy happiness. Increasing wealth matters less once basic needs are met, and economic growth in affluent countries provides no apparent morale or social well-being boost. Happiness is relative, adaptation, and comparison. Our emotions seem like elastic bands that pull us back from highs and lows. Happiness is relative to our own experiences, the adaptation level phenomenon, and to other success, the relative deprivation principle. Feelings of satisfaction and dissatisfaction, success and failure are judgments we make based partly on our prior experience. Comparing ourselves with those who are better off creates envy, but counting our blessings as we compare ourselves with those worse off boosts our contentment. If we look at this slide, we can look at adaptation level phenomenon and relative deprivation. Adaptation level phenomenon is the tendency to form judgments of sounds, of lights, of income, relative to a neutral level defined by our prior experience. Partly influences our feelings of satisfaction and dissatisfaction, success and failure. In some cases, if we think this is the net neutral or average level, we will form judgments based on that level, saying if everyone in our neighborhood has almost the same type of house, but we notice one person has added on to their house and they have a 3 or 4 car garage versus a 1 or 2 car garage, we may actually feel less satisfied or have a lower sense of success based on that. The perception that one is worse off relative to those with one whom compares oneself. Satisfaction may come when one feels better off than their peers, and it's also related to adaptation level phenomenon. Again, we may perceive that we're worse off compared to others, but in reality we typically don't really know. It's a perception, typically not rooted in any type of hard data. What are some predictors of happiness, and how can we be happier? Happiness levels are a product of the nature-nurture interaction. In twin studies, about 50% of happiness rating differences among people seems to be heritable. That is, it's attributable to our genes. There's also personal history. The emotions balance around a level defined by experience, a happiness set point. And culture, there is a diversity in the value groups place on various traits. For example, social acceptance and harmony in collectivist cultures, and self-esteem and achievement in individualist cultures. Individual happiness may influence national well-being. So what predicts our happiness levels? Happiness is, researchers have found that happy people tend to have higher self-esteem in individualist countries, be optimistic, outgoing, and agreeable, have close friendships or a satisfying marriage, have work and leisure that engage their skills, have an active religious faith, especially in more religious cultures, and sleep well and exercise. However, happiness seems not much related to other factors such as age, gender. Women are often more depressed, but also more often joyful, and physical attractiveness. There are evidence-based strategies that we can use for a happier life. 11 research-based suggestions for improving your mood and increasing your satisfaction with life. Number 1, realize that enduring happiness may not come from financial success. Number 2, take control of your time. Number 3, act happy. 4, seek work and leisure that engage your skills. 5, buy shared experiences rather than things. 6, join the movement. That means to get up and move and avoid being sedentary. Number 7 is to give your body the sleep it wants and needs. 8, give priority to close relationships. 9, focus beyond yourself. And 10, count your blessings and record your gratitude. And finally, number 11, nurture your spiritual self. That brings us to the end of Module 34. There's a lot of content in this module, but I think it's really key information that you may want to review and do some self-reflection on in depth, especially when you complete Journal 4.